Good evening, everyone. Myself Modi Nishi, and today we'll study on the topic of structural organization in animals. So, when we talk about the diverse forms of life on Earth, we first learn about the observation through eye magnifying lenses, and microscopes. So, the observation result into the morphological, or it can be the anatomical. So morphological includes the external features and anatomical includes internal features. So the morphological and anatomical features come under the structural organization of life forms. So as we said that, said that the morphology means study of externally visible features. In animals, external appearance of the organs or parts of the body. And anatomy is used for the study of morphology of internal organs in the animals. So we will understand the morphology and anatomy of earthworm, cockroaches, which are the higher invertebrates, and the frog, which is the vertebrate. So representing the higher invertebrates and vertebrates. So first we'll say the earthworm. Here we will understand the which are the characters included in the morphology and anatomy. So body of earthworm, the dorsal view. Okay. So the here is the dorsal view. Here is the ventral view, and the image shows the lateral view showing the mouth opening of earthworm. Then anatomy, the first image shows the alimentary canal, then closed circulatory system, then nephridial system, and then reproductive system. These all are systems included into the anatomy study. Then second organism is a cockroach. So morphology, external features of cockroach and head region of cockroach. The first A image shows the part of head region and B mouth parts. And anatomy, here the anatomy features of cockroach, alimentary canal, open circulatory system, and C image shows the reproductive system of male and female. And third organism is a frog. Here is the morphology, the trunk, head, eye region are the morphology characteristic of frog, and anatomical characteristics includes a complete digestive system and a reproductive system of male and female. So as we all know that the unicellular organism like Hydra, they have only single cell to perform all the basic functions like digestion, respiration, and reproduction. But in the complex body of multicellular animals, the basic functions like digestion, respiration, reproduction, etc. are performed by different groups of cells in well-organized manner. So we all know that human body is composed of billions of cells to perform various functions. The basic architecture of the body from smallest to largest is 6 level of organization. So our human body or animal are comprised in the 6 level of organization, from simplest chemical, cell, tissue, then organs, then organ system, and finally organism. In this image you can see the first chemical. So chemical level includes atoms and molecules, then cellular level, and then tissue level, then organ level, and then organ system, which include the common functions. The organ which have a common function including the organ system, and then the organism, whole living individual. So as I said, the chemical level, this is very basic level, includes atoms, the smallest unit of matter, such as carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And molecules, the molecules made up of 2 or more atoms. And the example is DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, which is the genetic material passed from one generation to next. Another level is cellular level. So molecules combine to form cells, the basic structural and functional unit of any organism. Example, muscle cells, nerve cells, and epithelial cells. Then third level is a tissue level, a group of similar cells along with intercellular substances. We will talk about intercellular substances later. Okay, so this group of cells which have similar function and with intercellular substances which is formed the tissue. So all complexes animal consist of only four basic types of tissue: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous or neural tissue. Then comes organ level. So two or more different types of tissue compose one organ. So they have specific function. Example organs are stomach, skin, bones, heart, liver, lungs, and brain. These are the organ. So it can be formed from the two or more tissue. Okay, so the several tissue make up the stomach, like epithelial, connective, and muscular tissue. So only one kind of tissue is not. It can be two or more different types of tissue: epithelial, connective, and muscular tissue. Okay, so next level is a organ system level. So a system consists of organ with a common function, like digestive system, which breaks down and absorb food. So in that, organ is a part of more than. So in that, there are stomach, intestine, all are included. These organs are included in the digestive system, one organ system. So sometimes an organ is a part of more than one system. It can be a part of any two or more systems. In example is the pancreas is a part of both the digestive system and endocrine system. The female and male reproductive systems are also included in the endocrine system. Okay, so and the final level of the sixth level organization is the organism level. An organism and living individual. So in this chapter, we'll study animal tissue in detail. So we know that the structure of cells vary according to their function. So according to structure of cells vary according to their function, the tissue are broadly classified into four types: epithelial, connective, muscular, and neural. First, we'll see epithelial tissue. So this tissue has a free surface which is faces inner body fluid and outer environment. It provides covering or lining for some part of the body. Okay, so epithelial tissue provides a covering or lining for some part of the body. The cells are compactly packed with little intercellular matrix. So types of epithelial tissues are simple epithelial and compound epithelium. In simple epithelium, there is a single layer of cells, and compound epithelium, two or more cell layers. And simple epithelium function as a lining for body cavities, ducts, and tubes. It can be any ducts, glands, and body cavities and tubes. And compound epithelium, it is a two or more cell layers, and it gives a protective function to our any organ. So it is present in our skin. So on the basis of structural modification of the cell, simple epithelium is further divided into three types. One is a squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. In squamous epithelium, the cells are single. So in simple epithelium, all cells are in single layers. Okay. So in squamous, the flattened shells are present. Layer of flattened shells are present. So with irregular boundaries, you can see in the image, with irregular boundaries, flattened cells are present, found in the walls of blood vessels and air sacs of lungs. So this squamous kind of simple epithelium is present in the walls of blood vessels and air sacs of lungs, and it is forming a diffusion boundary. And we know that diffusion of gases is requireable in air sacs of lungs to exchange of gases. Okay, so and another one is a cuboidal. So in cuboidal, there is cube-like cells, single layer of cube-like cells, and these are these kind of simple epithelium found in the ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephron in kidney, and function both cuboidal and columnar epithelium functions are secretion and absorption. Main function are the secretion and absorption. Then third, columnar epithelium, the single layer of tall and slender cell. As you can see in the image, the tall and slender cells are present, and free surface of these cells have sometimes have a microvilli, and microvilli are non-motile. So it can increase surface area and increase absorption. As I said that columnar epithelium help in secretion and absorption. So it increase the absorption. So they are found in lining of stomach and intestine. Now the specific modification of simple epithelium. The ciliated epithelium and glandular epithelium. If cuboidal and columnar epithelium having cilia on their free surface, it is called the ciliated epithelium. And it is function to move particles or mucus in specific direction over the epithelium. This present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tubes. As we know that in fallopian tube, ovum closely connected with the cilia. So what will cilia will do? It transfer ovum to uterus. It helps in the transportation of the ovum to uterus. So the one function, as I said, that the function is to move particles in a specific direction over the epithelium. And another is a glandular epithelium. So some columnar or cuboidal cells get specialized for secretion. They are made up for this secretion. So they can be unicellular or multicellular. The unicellular consisting of isolated glandular cell. They are separated, and one of the example is a goblet cell of the alimentary canal, which secretes mucus. Okay, and the multicellular glandular epithelium consisting of cluster of cells. So this cluster of cells secretes. One of the example is a salivary gland, and it secretes saliva in ducts. On the basis of mode of pouring of their secretion, glands are also divided into two categories, exocrine and endocrine glands. So exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzyme, and other cell products. Hence, exocrine products are released through ducts or tubes. And endocrine glands don't have ducts. So the products will directly secreted into fluids, body fluids like blood. So the endocrine product will directly secreted into fluid, which is called the hormones. As we know, the hormones will secreted directly into the body fluid, bloods. And then compound epithelium, more than one layer, that it is multi-layered of cells. The function of the compound epithelium is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stress. So they cover the dry surface of skin, the moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, and the inner lining of salivary gland and pancreatic ducts. Hence, it gives a protection against chemical and mechanical stress. And it can be many layered, like skin having the main three layer: epidermis, dermis, and basal membrane. Then a cell in epithelium are held together with the little intercellular material. So I said earlier, there is tissue in definition of tissue, that is the same function of cell with intercellular substance. So in epithelium, the specialized cell junction are there, which provide structural and functional links between cell in the epithelium and other animal tissues. Three types of cell junction are there: tight junction, gap junction, and ring junctions. So first we'll see tight junction. It can be called as an occluding junction, which seals cells together into sheets, which is impermeable barrier. It is very tightly packed and seals cells together. No space between them. Help to stop substance from leaking across a tissue. And structural components, which are the proteins, occludin and chlorine, are the markers of tight junction. Then gap junction, so which is also called as a communicating junction, which is allow exchange of chemical, electrical information between cells. Here tight junction is impermeable, but gap junction is a non-selective. It is semi-permeable. It allows the molecule having the having your molecular weight less than or equal to 1000 Dalton. And structural components of gap junction is connexon. Then adhering junction. So adhering junction, also called as anchoring junction, zonula adherens, which attach cell and their cytoskeleton to other cells. And structural components of adhering junction are the cadherin, protein, selectin, and desmosome. Then second is a connective tissue. Connective tissue are most abundant and widely distributed in the body of complex animals. The main function is the linking and supporting other tissues organ of the body. From soft connective tissue to specialized type include cartilage, bone, adipose, and blood. So connective tissue includes cartilage, bone, adipose, and blood. In all connective tissue except blood, cells secrete fibers of structural proteins called collagen. So except blood, all these connective tissue secrete fibers. And these fibers provide strength, elasticity, and flexibility to the tissue. So where in body, where strength, elasticity, and flexibility is required, the connective tissue are present there. These cells also secrete modified polysaccharides which accumulate between cells and fiber and act as a matrix or ground substance. So in connective tissue, cells, fibers, and matrix collectively made of one tissue. So the matrix, ground substance, also can secreted from these cartilage, bone, and adipose and blood tissue, and which forms the matrix of the connective tissue, and which is modified polysaccharides. These are the different kinds of connective tissue: cartilage, adipose tissue, blood, bone, fibrous connective tissue, and loose connective tissue. So three types of connective tissue: loose, dense, and specialized. So in loose connective tissue, cells and fibers loosely arranged in a semi-fluid ground substance, or we can say matrix. The cells and fibers are loosely arranged, and they can be two types: areolar and adipose tissue. Then in dense connective tissue, fibers and cells, that is fibroblasts, are compactly packed, and it can be dense, regular, or irregular according to their arrangement. Then specialized connective tissue, it can be cartilage, bone, and blood. We'll see one by one. So in loose connective tissue, first areolar tissue. In image you can see that the collagen fibers. So the fibroblast is made up of this small fibers. It can be collagen or elastin. So both areolar tissue and adipose tissue present lower the skin. And areolar tissue serves as a support framework for epithelium. It contains fibroblasts which produce and secrete fibers. It contains fibroblasts, macrophages, and mast cell. Macrophages and mast cell providing defense against the pathogen or any infection. And adipose tissue, the cells are specialized to store fats. So when there is an excessive amount of nutrients are there, it will be converted into fats and stored into this adipose tissue. One nucleus and plasma membrane is also there. Dense connective tissue. So dense regular and dense irregular. So if collagen fibers are present in rows, as you can see in the image, collagen fibers are present in rows and parallel bundles of fibers are there. So it is dense regular. An example of the dense regular is tendon and ligament. Tendon connects skeletal muscle to bones, and ligament connects bone to bone. Then dense irregular. Here you can see the collagen fiber and the fibroblast oriented differently. That's why it's called irregular. So fibroblast and many fibers like collagen that are oriented differently and present in the skin. These are found in the tendon and ligament, and dense irregular found in the skin. Now specialized connective tissue, cartilage, bone, and blood. So first in cartilage is solid and pliable, means flexible. Cell of this tissue called as chondrocytes are enclosed within matrix, and chondrocyte also secretes matrix. Present in tip, the cartilage is present in the tip of nose, outer ear joints, between adjacent bones of vertebral column, limbs, and hands in adults. Most cartilages in vertebrate embryo are replaced by bones in adults. And second is a bone. So bone is hard and non-pliable, matlab non-flexible. The bone cells are called osteocytes, are present in the spaces called lacunae. So osteocytes also secretes the matrix, and matrix is rich in calcium salt and collagen fiber, which gives bone its strength. So bone is a non-flexible because matrix of the bone rich in calcium salt and collagen fibers, and hence it protects and support softer tissue and organs and body. So it is basic support model for the body. Then blood. The blood is a fluid connective tissue. So one question arises, why blood is included into connective tissue? So blood containing plasma, red blood cell, white blood cell, and platelets. Once we remove the RBC, WBC, and platelets, then remaining plasma. So plasma is also called the matrix, and matrix is present in blood, hence it is included in the connective tissue. It is main circulating fluid that helps in the transport of various substances like oxygen. And bone marrow is a site of production of blood cells. Now third is a muscle tissue. Each muscle is made up of many long cylindrical fibers. Here I've shown that muscle fiber, the one muscle fiber in the transfer section of muscle, arranged in the parallel array, RM in series. And these fibers are composed of numerous fine fibrils called myofibrils. So the muscle fiber is composed of many numerous fine fibrils, which is called a myofibril. Myo means muscle. So muscle fiber contract and relax in a coordinated manner, and muscle play an active role in the movement and position of the body. Then three types of muscle tissue: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. First is skeletal muscle. So it is closely attached to the skeletal bones. Hence it is named skeletal muscle. In bicep muscle, the striated skeletal muscle fibers are found. As you can see in the image, the muscles are having the striation on the surface. So are bundled together in the parallel manner. And smooth muscle are tapering at the both ends, like fusiform structure appearance having, and don't show striations, and it is involuntary. That means we cannot able to make it contract by its own by thinking, by our thinking, like as we can do with skeletal muscle. We cannot voluntarily cannot move the smooth muscle. Okay, so present in the wall of internal organs such as blood vessels, stomach, and intestine. Then cardiac muscle. So cardiac muscle also have striation, and it is contractile tissue present only in the heart. Hence it is named cardiac. It is striated, and cell junction make them stick together. So what happens in this? The cell plasma membrane of these cells fused, and that's why it stick together. And communication junction allow the cell to contract as a unit. So as a when one cell, so it means that one cell received the signal to contract, neighbor also stimulated to contract. So the gap junction is present over here. Now fourth is a neural tissue. So neural tissue consists of neuron and neuroglial cells. Neural tissue shows the greatest control over the body's responsiveness. As we know, neuron is the unit of neural system, and neuroglial cell is a non-neural cell which form myelin and protect and support neurons. When neuron is stimulated, an electrical disturbance is generated which travel along plasma membrane. And the arrival of the disturbance at the neuron ending when this electrical disturbance arrived at the ending of neurons, which triggers stimulation or inhibition of adjacent neighbor cells. These are my references and question.